Kshatriyas are specifically meant to maintain the Brahmanas, because if the Brahmanas are protected, and then the head of the civilization is protected. Brahmanas are supposed to be the head of the social body. If the head is clear and has not gone mad, then everything is in proper position. The Lord is described thus, Namo Brahmanya Devaya Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. The purport of this prayer is that the Lord specifically protects the Brahmanas and the cows. Then He protects all other members of the society, Jagadhitaya. It is His will that universal welfare work depends on the protection of cows and Brahmanas. The Brahmanical culture, the cow protection, are the basic principles of human civilization. Kshatriyas are especially meant to protect the Brahmanas, as is the supreme will of the Lord. Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha. As within the body, the heart is a very important part. So the Brahmanas are also an important element in human society. The Kshatriyas are more like the whole body. Even though the whole body is bigger than the heart is more important. Text 4. Ato hi ananyonam atmanam brahma kshatram cha rakshataha rakshati smavyayo devaha saya sadasad atmakaha. That is why the Brahmanas and Kshatriyas protect each other as well as themselves. And the Lord Himself, who is both the cause and the effect, is yet immutable, protects them through each other. Purport. The entire social structure of Varna and Ashrama is a cooperative system meant to uplift all to the highest platform of spiritual realization. The Brahmanas are intended to be protected by the Kshatriyas, and the Kshatriyas are also intended to be enlightened by the Brahmanas. The Kshatriyas cooperate nicely. The other subordinate divisions, the Vaishyas, are the mercantile people, and the Shudras, or laborer class, automatically flourish. The entire elaborate system of Vedic society was therefore based on the importance of Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. The Lord is a real protector, but He is unattached to the affairs of the protection. He creates Brahmanas for the protection of the Kshatriyas and Kshatriyas for the protection of the Brahmanas. He remains aloof from all activities. Therefore, He is called Nirvikhara, without activity. He has nothing to do. He is so great that he does not perform action personally, but His energies act. Brahmanas and Kshatriyas, in anything we see, are different energies acting upon one another. Although the individual souls are all different, the super self or the super soul is the supreme personality of Godhead. Individually, oneself may differ from others in certain qualities and may engage in different activities, such as those of Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya. But when there is complete cooperation among different individual souls, the Supreme Personality of Godhead as Super Soul Paramatma, being one in every individual soul, is pleased and gives them all protection. As stated before, the Brahmanas are produced from the mouth of the Lord, and the Kshatriyas are produced from the chest or the arms of the Lord. If the different castes or social sections, although apparently differently occupied in different activities, nevertheless act in full cooperation, then the Lord is pleased. This is the idea of the institution of the 4 Varnas and 4 Ashramas. If the members of different Ashramas and Varnas cooperate fully in Krishna consciousness, then society is well protected by the Lord without doubt. In the Bhagavad Gita it is stated that the Lord is the proprietor of all different bodies. The individual soul is the proprietor of his individual body, but the Lord clearly states, my dear Bharata, you must know that I am also Kshetrajna, Kshetrajna means the knower or the proprietor of the body. The individual soul is a proprietor of the individual body, but the super soul, the personality of Godhead Krishna, is a proprietor of all bodies everywhere. He is a proprietor not only of human bodies, but of birds, beasts, and all other entities. Not only on this planet, but on other planets also. He is the supreme proprietor, therefore he does not become divided by protecting the different individual souls. He remains one and the same. That the sun appears on top of everyone's head when at the meridian does not imply that the sun appears on the top of everyone's head when at the meridian does not imply that the sun becomes divided. One man thinks that the sun is on his head only, whereas 5,000 miles away another man is thinking that the sun is only on his head. Similarly, the super soul, the supreme personality of Godhead, is one, but he appears to individually oversee each individual soul. This does not mean that the individual soul and the super soul are one. They are one in quality as a spirit soul, but the individual soul and super soul are different. So the Lord's system of social organization is being explained by Manu to Kardama Muni, starting with saying that, "Oh Kardama Muni, you are a Brahmana, and Brahma created you from his face, and you are full of austerity, knowledge, mystic power, and averse to sense gratification. And then for protection of Brahmanas like you, the Lord created Kshatriyas, who like him, like Manu, Kshatriyas. And the body of a Kshatriya, the body of a Brahmana, the Lord, through 1,000-legged Supreme Being, created us, the Kshatriyas, from his 1,000 arms. And this way the Brahmanas and Kshatriya protect each other as well as themselves. And the Lord, who is both the cause and the effect, protects them through each other. So how this entire material world function with the Lord as the cause and effect is finally explained here, who is both the cause and effect and is yet immutable, protects them through each other. See, the Lord is simultaneously one and different from everything in his creation. So just like when Manu appeared before Kardama Muni, the way Kardama Muni looked at him, the perspective with which he looked at him, he was addressing him as a Lord, because he saw that, because he understood that a perfect Kshatriya is representing the Lord, and he is a Lord in one sense. So everybody, ultimately everything in existence is a Lord through his energies. We are one kind of energies. Expansion of the Lord. Material energy is another kind of energy. So many different energies are, the Lord has got unlimited. Vividaya Shakti. Unlimited varieties of Shaktis are there. It belongs to the Lord. And ultimately all the Shaktis are functioning for the pleasure of one single personality, Krishna, Adipurusha, and his expansions, different Vishnus. So in the material world, a particular Vishnu as Shirodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, Karnodakshaya Vishnu, Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and Shirodakshaya Vishnu directly, more directly, involved with every activities in this material world, starting from. But that activity of the Lord as the super soul is in creating this material world, giving shape to this material world, facilitating all the secondary creation of Brahma. So he is involved in that sense. But in which way he is not involved? At a macro level, the super soul is involved. And at an individual level, with respect to people's karma, it is clearly explained that the super soul does not interfere. It is left to the system. His energies, his guna, kala, karma is actually churning this material world, each person's life, and he does not interfere there. The Lord's role in this material world as a super soul, because ultimately everything is Lord's Leela. He is giving an opportunity for the living entities in this material world to express their freedom. The marginal energy of the Lord to express our freedom. Either way. So this is a field. Kshetra, where the Kshetrajna, the living entities are given this opportunity. And in this game, the Lord himself as the supreme proprietor of all the bodies is Sarvasya Chaham Hridhi Sannivishtaha. So how the Lord is connected to every heart. Lord is connected to every heart in this material world. That is through the form of the super soul, Shirodakshaya Vishnu. And even a more deeper understanding of the super soul is given here. Just like the sun is on the head of different people, and each person feels relationship with the sun above his head. In the same way, the super soul is never divided. I have a super soul for myself, for you, and all those things. There is no difference. Though the Lord is personally witnessing and sanctioning all the activities of the living individual living entity, the Lord is undivided. In this example is given of the sun over different people's head, sun which is millions of miles away. Similarly, Shirodakshaya Vishnu, he is the supreme proprietor of everything in this material world. He is the supreme Param Ishvara of everything in this material world. And that Param Ishvara Leela is performed by the Lord with respect to living entities, both devotees and demons, the two kinds of living entities. So living entities between themselves, they, like the Brahmanas are given certain qualities, Kshatriyas are given certain qualities, the Kshatriya body is given certain qualities, the Brahmana body is given certain qualities. It's all given by the Lord. And between themselves they protect each other. So, in the material world, if you want anything to happen, it has to be through the material energy only. Just like you want to clean your face, you have to take your material hand and clean your material face. Is it not? So, in the same way, everything that has to happen in this material world, it is designed in such a way, it has to happen through the material energy. The material energy itself has to reconfigure. For instance, if we have to build this temple, we have to bring cement, so many things from different places, brick and everything. These things are all just reconfigured here, but they were already existing. So this reconfiguration is what is called as work in this material world. Reconfiguration for different objectives. What is our objective? We want to create a visual shelter for the Lord, a visual, beautiful place like this. This is our purpose, and then we reorganize everything. So, activity in this material world means nothing but reorganizing matter. And the key element for reorganizing matter is buddhi, intelligence. And Prabhupada says that the super soul is realized in this material world as intelligence form, as the all-pervading intelligence. Everywhere that intelligence is there, of course that intelligence is given according to one's karma. Each individual body has got certain intelligence which is deposited. Certain intelligence, certain type of intelligence, Brahmana intelligence, Kshatriya intelligence, Shudra intelligence is all deposited in the Sharira, the body of the living entity. And then that works, and that's how the society is running. That is the reason why atheists are not able to locate the factor of God. Where is God? You don't need God at all. Everything is running. I don't see God's factor at all. One human being is protecting another human being. Why do you say God protected? One set of human beings are feeding the other set of human beings. The farmers are working, they are producing food, so you are getting food. Why you are thanking God? Where is God in the picture? Why is it so? It is so because it is designed like that. God wants to create an atmosphere where you can forget Him. This material world is meant for that, so it is working very perfectly. Those who don't want to see God will never see God. Those who don't want to see God will be thoroughly convinced there is no God. Because whatever the Lord does, He will do it perfectly. He wanted to create a godless atmosphere, He has created it. And in the midst of it, now come to the what role the Paramatma, the Lord plays with respect to those who want to serve Him. Those who want to serve Him, the Lord acts as the Chaitya Guru for the living entity. Not only for Vaishnavas, for everybody. He is a Chaitya Guru for everyone. He is a teacher for everyone, seated in the heart of every living entity. Whatever class he may be in first standard, second standard, third standard, Vaishnavism may be, graduation level. A Karmi may be second standard, third, he is also on a spiritual journey. Just like in graduation, our Vaishnava life also, we also go up and we come down, right? We rise, our consciousness sometimes up, then we fall down also. Our test we fail, test we pass, we keep going up and down. The same way, every living entity is going up and down, up Brahma Bhavana Loka, Punaravartana Arjuna, it's going on and like this. This journey is facilitated by the super soul with utmost respect for the living entity's freedom. This is a key thing. What is the Lord's feeling towards the material world? Lord's feeling towards the material world is of high respect for our free will. Not respect for how we use our free will, but it is respect for our free will. Respect for free will is different from respect for how we use the free will. If somebody uses the free will properly, then your respect for his use of free will, isn't it? Because why respect the Lord respects? Because that is what the Jiva's inherent quality, it is given to him. The Lord has expanded as Jiva, Vibhinnamsha. We are Lord only, we are Krishna only. We are Krishna's energy, one in quality with him. So he wants it like that. Lord, he decides how to create, why to create, he knows. And that way the living entities are having this freedom, and this freedom is respected. This is my understanding of how the living entities are all free in this material world. Those who want to turn towards him at whatever stage may be, the Lord is seated inside and He guides the living entity. At a particular stage of maturity, the guiding the living entity may take the form of taking on to a bona fide spiritual master. At a particular stage. Before that, it may be teaching in so many ways through Adhyatmik, Adibhautik, Adidaivik kleshas. Constantly, it is all incorporated in this material world. Indirect teaching. Material energy itself teaches a living entity. Indirectly. And as we progress, we surrender to a spiritual master, he starts teaching directly. Divya Gyan Hriday Prakashita. So the principle of teaching, the principle of guiding the living entity is operating always in this material world. It's an amazing thing. It's an amazing thing. The existence of that operating principle of elevating the living entity is an amazing realization that especially a devotee can have. If you take your life from the day you touch Prabhupada's book, the day you came across a Vaishnava, and today where you are. Nothing has happened by chance. The Paramatma is seated in the heart and he is guiding the living entity. The Lord is very patient. And he remembers everything. We remember what's in this life. He remembers all our previous lives. He remembers all our anarthas. He remembers all our tendencies. Everything he remembers. And the living entity is, and if you see our life as devotees, how gradually he teaches A first, then B first, then C first, then D, then making sentences, then writing an essay. Just like you learn a language from elements to, in the same way, from A, B, C of spiritual life, you cannot tell somebody to understand algebra before understanding arithmetic. Is it not? So arithmetic has to be taught. So some teacher has to take some guidance, take some intelligence, what is my student's level, and accordingly he will give. Isn't it? Similarly, the Paramatma knows exactly where we stand in our learning of the absolute truth, the knowledge, pure knowledge, bhakti, everything. And step by step, he is making us advance in Krishna consciousness. That is why after 5 years or 10 years in Krishna consciousness movement, you are a different person from what you were when you entered. You are a person with knowledge. You are a person with some detachment. You are a person with certain perspective of this material world. Who is doing this? It's an amazing thing. It's continuously that intelligence principle, spiritual intelligence principle is operating on us. And we know that it is, we may say intelligent principle and all, that actually that principle is called Guru Tattva, the principle of Guru. The principle of Guru is operating, one principle of Guru is operating everywhere. It is represented by different pure devotees of the Lord. And this is very important that every devotee reflects his life now and then. How did I understand this? How did I understand this? I never understood this 5 years back. Now I understood this. We are actually taking for granted so many things Lord is revealing within the heart. We are taking for granted. Some source has to be there. Somebody has to be giving it. Mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. Krishna is doing that. So we are very lovingly taken care of by the Lord. Those who want a journey back to God, He is lovingly taken care of. So even though it is said here that they protect themselves through each other, there is a bigger principle operating, that for those who want to go back to Godhead, the Lord personally protects. Like Sarvadharman Pariteja Mam Ekam Sharanam Aham Tam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami. I will relieve you from all papa. Papa cannot be relieved easily. Papa can be relieved only by suffering in the material world. So here Lord puts his finger in, he says, Sarva Papebhyo Mokshishyami Masuchaha. He intervenes and he clears the the reaction of Papa for the living entity. So, first preliminary understanding is that the Lord does not interfere each person's life. According to Guna Kala Karma, it goes on. And the next level of understanding is that, no, it's not just that. He is not only Upadrishta and Anumanta, he is also a guide for the living entities. Lord is not going to, if you are a devotee of the Lord, super soul is not going to, if it is required to, if you drop this phone, no, it should go against gravity and it should not break, because this is Krishna's phone. Doesn't happen. You drop it, it will break. Because Lord as Paramatma, his reciprocation in this material world with the devotee is in the form of intelligence. But Lord is not limited to that alone. He can do any miracles. But that will be in another form. As the holy name, he will do miracles also. He is an incarnation. Holy name is an incarnation. Super soul is an incarnation who will give you intelligence. He will reciprocate at intellectual intelligence, guidance, intelligence, direction. You cannot achieve anything without intelligence, isn't it? So if you have limited intelligence, if you are a devotee of the Lord, he will give you the intelligence by which you can serve him. You can achieve something. Beyond your karma, he will give intelligence. So that way, the devotee who is always engaging in devotion service, when he is executing various tasks, he is always anticipating that he is doing as a servant of the Lord. The ideal thing is that master is the super soul, the proprietor of the work is the super soul. I am not the proprietor of the work. The enjoyer of the fruit of the work also, it's not me. I am just an order carrier of the Lord. Whatever service is mystically coming to me, I execute it. And I am guided by the Lord. The owner of the work is an enjoyer of the work is him. I can have only proprietorship over followership. I follow. You cannot have proprietorship over doership. There is a small difference between being a doer and being a follower. A follower always understands that the direction is a servant. A follower always understands that he is following for somebody else's purpose. A follower always understands that he is empowered by the person whom he is following. All the energy, all the strength, all the things that is required to follow and execute is there coming from him. This is all called Krishna consciousness, having this consciousness behind when we work, when we serve. In such devotion service, completely depend upon me, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Chetasa sarva karmani mai sanyasya matparaha. Give proprietorship of work. Mai sanyasya matparaha. My work. So the devotee becomes free from so many false conceptions when he executes his service as a servant. Servant means so many things are associated with it. Certain moods are associated with it, certain purposes are associated with it, certain perceptions are associated with it, me, and relationship with the master. All this paradigm is important to work as a servant of the Lord. Otherwise, you simply work like, okay, I am my body, I am working. That's all. This is gross way of working. Okay, so the second part is, the first part is that, the second part is that the Lord is personally involved in the material world. The first part is personal. Lord is not involved, but He protects them through each other. Within the material energy, this thing goes on. For the devotees, it rises above that. And the Lord Himself intervenes in the form of guidance. And then the Lord, in different forms, as a deity, as a holy name, as incarnation. And each form of the Lord, each type of incarnation of the Lord, have their very specific kind of relationship with the material world. That's why they're all different. Holy name incarnation is different. It's all Krishna. Super soul is different. Deities are different. Different not in terms of substance. Difference in terms of their relationship with this material world. So we have to respect that. When we respect that, then we are seeing those spiritual differences. When we want intelligence, we pray to the super soul. The Lord as a holy name has come down into the material world to purify us, to cleanse all the dirt in our heart, and to give us starting with that, into giving us even the highest. So that is a reciprocation of the holy name. Deity's reciprocation of the holy name is to give us an opportunity to have a day-to-day life, personal life with the Lord. Day-to-day. Personal life means what? Eating, sleeping, all these things are there, no? Every person, wakes up in the morning. Daily life is there. No? How do you spiritualize your daily life? Deity worship is extremely important. We eat what the Lord takes. You give rest to the Lord. You celebrate. Everything, if you see everything that you do with the deity, it's like a living person in your midst. So how do you spiritualize your daily life? Very specifically, it is by relating with the deities. And the deity's incarnation is meant for that. He is meant to give us an opportunity to relate with Him in a very personal way, offer Him personal services that way. So anyway, the key point here is that we don't have to repeat many times that the living entity, the Kshetrajna, is different from the super soul. Super soul is different. And super soul, without getting divided, can he not be in each one's heart? He can be. Beautiful example is sun that Prabhupada is giving. Even a material example is there. Sun is appearing on everybody's head and each person is thinking is on my head. So in the same way, the super soul, without getting divided, one Kshirodaksha Vishnu is guiding is in everybody's heart. And Krishna says, it's me. Because it is His expansion. The Lord, the Supreme Lord, Govindam Adi Purusham, He is also inside every atom, inside every heart. That is as a cause of everything. In every effect, the cause resides. Is it not? In every effect, the cause resides. Andantarastu paramanu chayantarastam. Within the atom, or in other words, within the material energy, the finest material energy, Within the living entity, the Lord is there. That is apart from the super soul. Super soul is one Leela of the Lord. Is it not? Govindam is Sarva Karana Karanam. As Sarva Karana Karanam is there in every effect in this material world is there. That is a uniqueness of Krishna. When we say Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is what it is. So, Sarva Karana Karanam. Within every kind of, within his expansion, within Vishnu expansion also, the cause of Vishnu expansion is Krishna, is there. Simultaneously one and different. And the simultaneously, how they are one and different, the detail is difference between the Krishna and Vishnu, Krishna and material energy, Krishna and Jiva. How it is one and different, description of how it is one, how it is different is little different. But it is all expansion of one Supreme Personality of Godhead. Sarva Karana Karanam. Any questions? Mike.
Madhu Pandit, thank you so much for the explanation. And so generally we find very detailed information as Srila Prabhupada is giving in his purpose, like amazingly detailed. And in the description is how the Lord, through this first quadruple expansion, then the second quadruple expansion, and he comes in this, what is called Parinamavada, the transformation of energies of the Lord. Finally, we reach the understanding that the Lord is in every heart, as you described. And that way, he supervises, and in one sense also, because the jiva needs protection. He may not, is impartial, but it's like a father is looking from a distance, the child doing some, and he still is witnessing everything. So, it also said in the scripture that in the stage of the jiva that becomes, by the mercy of the Lord, enlightened, self-realized, through the eyes of, or the way of seeing, Primanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochane Sancha Sadayo, Hridayeshu Vilokayanti. The Lord, in the heart of the self-realized soul, is declared, is not anymore impartial of Paramatma, because the Lord in two-handed form, or according to the Ishtadev of the Jiva is liberated, becomes, in that, turns into that self, proportionally to the development of the soul. So the question is that he supervises everything also through this analysis in the external energy. But the question is, in the spiritual world, does he require this sort of vigilance, or
This sort of?
Being vigilant, like a police forces? How the interaction, because we don't have so many informations in the spiritual world. Actually, Srila Prabhupada gives a main fantastic description in the whole, I think it's the fifth chapter of Chaitanya Charitamrita, the glories of Nityananda Balaram. But he doesn't touch the point of the Paramatma, because Paramatma in the spiritual world doesn't exist. The function of Paramatma, as we see, only happens for this three-dimensional world. So the question is, in the spirit world, is the Lord in need to supervise every jiva there? I know it's a tough question, because I myself, I never read anything.
No, from whatever we read, the spiritual world, the energies of the Lord, the internal energy of the Lord, He is creating everything. But in the material world, the Lord, this Lord's Leela, so therefore the Lord is there as Paramatma. very specific kind of Leela. This kind of Leela is not required in the spiritual world. So as Paramatma, is not required in the spiritual world. He doesn't have to sit next to the Atma. But as Krishna, as a cause, he is there within the Atma. In his unmanifested form. By me, in my unmanifested form, I pervade everywhere. Not only here, everywhere he pervades. That pervading is different from all pervading expansion of Leela, expansion of the Paramatma. So that way Krishna is always everywhere, directly and indirectly in control of everything. So Ishvaraha Parama Krishna. So that Parama Krishna, that Ishvara effect he is manifesting in the material world through Paramatma, through an expansion of Paramatma. This is what, putting together everything else that we read about. This is what I understand. And somewhere there is one line in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Prabhupada says, there is no Paramatma expansion in this spiritual world. In Chaitanya Charitamrita. It says so. Prabhupada says so. And at the same time, somewhere else, the Lord is always seated in the heart of the living entity. You want to reconcile these two things, then Lord is always seated in the heart of the Jiva also. Here, when you say Paramatma in the heart of the Jiva, it is in this body. But there, when Krishna is seated in the heart of Jiva, means as a cause he is there. Nothing can be separated from the cause. This mind.
In this line of thought, when you initiated your dissertation, you also mentioned that as with this material hand, I cleanse my face, using elements of matter for an end,
right?
Obviously. So you say that we gather elements like concrete, iron,
yes.
to create a temple.
Reconfigure matter.
Yes, but you mentioned something peculiar because you say the temple is existing. Is existing.
Is existing.
Can you elaborate, please?
You see, nobody created anything. Before, let us say, only plain land was there. Then what happened? Jnana, Bala, Kriya. Three things mixed together. And this temple was manifest. Energy did not manifest. Energy was already there. Jnana, Bala and Kriya, what does it do? It reconfigures matter. Somewhere else different matter is there, it brings together. What is a rich man and a poor man? Difference. In the configuration of a rich man, money is in his pocket. When so many donors gave and we built this temple, what did it happen? You went, you used Jnana, Bala, Kriya, the money moved from his pocket to you as a collector. Then it came, and the money moved from here to the shopkeeper. He moved that matter here. That's all. It's just nothing but achieving anything in this material world is nothing but very nicely to oversimplify. Just reconfiguring matter. And to reconfigure matter, you need three things. Intelligence, Jnana, Bala, Kriya. Balas are different types. You may have financial Bala, this Bala, that Bala, physical Bala, financial Bala, all these things. Emotional Bala. Tejas is called Bhagavato Balena, Bhagavato Viryena, Bhagavato Tejasa, we say, when we do something. These are all things required to do something. Virya is intelligent, Tejas is emotional strength, Bala is physical strength. Only by physical strength, intellectual strength and emotional strength are the three kinds of Bala. Then you need Jnana. Then you need Kriya. Kriya is skills, expertise. I can type something in a typewriter by looking at A and pressing A, B in a clumsy way. Whereas an expert typist, the same machine, I also have knowledge how typing happens. The typist also has knowledge how typist happens. But the typist has knowledge and skill. I have only knowledge. I can clumsily type. The typist can type. Knowledge and skill. So skill is required. So to achieve anything in this material world, certain skills are required. So if you don't have an architect skill, then you have, if you want to build a temple, you have to get an architect. Again, it is reconfiguring that brain. That brain should somewhere else, instead of doing some other work, you give temple work to him, he will work. That's all. And then output will come. So every challenge in the material world, every achievement challenge, you should just reduce it to reconfiguring matter. Big deal, nothing. What is there? Just you have to reconfigure. But I need all these things, Bala, all these things. So you have to work. And this is where Krishna helps. He gives the Bala, shorting, whatever short of Bala, he will give. I maintain what you have, I provide what you lack. Whatever skill you lack, I will give. So therefore, devotees achieve things which is beyond their individual Jnana Bala Kriya. Each of us are having a corpus of Jnana Bala Kriya at different times as we grow in life, according to what is released by Kala. And it is this we use. But then, if we have faith in Krishna, that it is Krishna's work, proprietor of the work is Krishna, fruit of the work is Krishna's, miracles will happen. Jnana Bala Kriya, because Jnana Bala Kriya of the scale of Krishna will come and play there. Because you are recognizing the work is Krishna's, the fruit is for Krishna, then the scale of that Jnana Bala Kriya, God's Jnana Bala Kriya will come there. जय ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.